This is Twit.
How do you tackle support? I imagine support has to be a very difficult thing to provide when you're a one-person team, right? And you're creating an app that potentially thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are suddenly using. Is it pretty overwhelming to deal with that level of support? And where do you draw the line?
Yes, in a word. I'd say support is definitely my biggest challenge, in the sense that I'm still figuring out where to draw the line. I buy apps, and sometimes I send emails, and I send emails with the hope of getting a response. But at the same time, it's very, very tough. Like it's just me, and the reality is that if I spend 5 minutes on an email, that's 5 minutes I'm not coding. And and that really adds up. Like once Action Launcher 2.0 went out, I tried for a while to answer every support email, and if I was compiling code, then I'd flick to the support emails and stay on top of them. But it snowballs, and as soon as you respond to one, then that breeds further responses and that sort of stuff. And soon I'm spending an hour a day just on support, and that's almost 5 hours a week. That's not an insignificant amount of time, and it just gets really, really tough. I can't afford that time, basically, without compromising the speed that I deliver updates and new apps. So my current solution is to I've invested a bunch of time writing in-app FAQs, which answer the vast majority of questions. And I've sort of promoted them higher in the settings now, so that hopefully they get read a bunch more. And then I try and write helpful automated responses, but it's very difficult for me to spend the time when someone's said, hey, I think you should add these 3 features. And, I've had those 3 features, suggested to me literally 100 plus times, and I add them in the FAQ saying that, yes, I've heard them. It's just, I just can't really justify the time spending, engaging on that, as much as that sounds, douchey or whatever. It's very tough. I would love to, if the apps can grow a bit more, then I can probably, maybe bring someone on, a community manager or something like that, and have that person sort of deal with that. But I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, particularly when you're a one-man team running the whole show, has to be incredibly overwhelming. And I imagine it's a fine line to walk between giving the users of your app the information that they're looking for, maybe presenting it, like you said, tweaking it so that it shows to them in different ways, versus showing people that don't need or don't want to see it something that suddenly they're like, well, why are you showing me this? I already knew this, or whatever. I feel like I'm being put out because I have to read this text, and that's not what I'm here for. So you can't please everybody in this world, I suppose, is what I'm saying.
I think that's been a really strong lesson that I've learned, is that it's literally impossible to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. You cannot do it. Mm-hmm. So you just have to, I guess, do what you think is right and best for all your users as a whole, and I think that's about the best you can hope for.